In this video, we visit one of the most beautiful airports I've ever seen, get ambushed by monkeys right outside our hotel room, and check out one of the highest cricket grounds in the world. So stick around and see what we get up to in Dharamshala in this week's video.
Look right past me, you slept wrong. Not all paint turns to Teflon. Invest my soul, that's a bet, brum. Blue face patience, bank tested breath.
We kick off today's journey by flying with IndiGo on the ATR 72 from New Delhi to Dharamshala. A short flight that only takes about an hour and a half. If you notice the propellers, that's because it's a turboprop aircraft. Much better for shorter regional routes, especially when flying into mountainous terrain. At the gate, we were handed some last-minute boarding passes due to a few seat changes, but everything was smooth from there. The flight itself was on time, comfortable, and honestly pretty uneventful. But the real surprise came after we landed. Stepping off the plane at Dharamshala Airport, we were greeted by absolutely stunning mountain views. Easily one of the most scenic airports I've ever flown into. Naturally, we had to stop and grab a few photos before heading out. We finally made it to Dharamshala and I am happy to be out of Delhi. The scenery is incredible, and as we came off the plane, it's beautiful. So much so that the staff had to corral us out of the aircraft and prevent us from taking too many photos or videos. Our hotel's in a place called McLeod Ganj, and I think that is quite a popular space for a lot of tourists to head straight to. We've ended up taking an airport transfer given to us by the hotel, but I think you can take private taxis from the government-approved taxi rank that is there. Bear in mind, there's no Uber or Ola, so plan accordingly, but look at that. The journey from the airport to McLeod Ganj took about 45 minutes, and I honestly couldn't get enough of the scenery along the way. We passed through Dharamshala town itself, and straight away it felt a lot calmer than some of our previous stops in India. The traffic was lighter and the atmosphere was more relaxed, although that being said, the winding mountain roads definitely made for a challenging drive, but luckily we had an experienced driver who handled it really well. Before long, we arrived at our hotel, the Whitewater Inn, tucked away in the hills of McLeod Ganj. Alright, we've just been dropped off in McLeod Ganj to our hotel, and the hotel is called the Whitewater Inn. Cars aren't accessible, but it is like somewhere down there, and you can see this how steep it is. There it is, Whitewater Inn, so we've got to take down these set of stairs. So if you are planning to stay, do not bring a suitcase, at least at steps I suppose. Yeah, if you've got any sort of like mobility issues, then this isn't the place. This is not going to be the place for you. We are a little bit early and we're not expecting to be checked in, but the views from the back of this place is what I'm most excited about, and I can't wait to just sit around and just look at the mountains behind us. Well, the Whitewater Inn, the hotel which we're staying at, has been kind enough to let us in a little bit earlier than check-in time, so this is our room. Wow. Mate, look at that view. Oh, looking like it. Wow, it's incredible. And there's a little balcony. Hiya, Phoebe.
Hello.
All right, Craig.
Beautiful. Now this best destination to last.
Don't look down there.
That is one hell of a view up there. The temperature's about 10 degrees, I think. It doesn't feel like that. It felt colder in Delhi than it did here. This room pretty much cost us, I think, 2,700 rupees, which is about £26, or about $30 US for...
That came out of nowhere.
That one saw Pash outside and it made a beeline pretty much across that and almost into our room, and I think it's waiting for food. We don't have any food. I'm going to try and say hi to that monkey. There's two of them. Oh, it's just sunbathing. Guess I won't be able to enjoy the balcony as much as I thought. So it's day one, and we're going to do the Sky Train today, which is a cable car that goes from all the way from McLeod Ganj to Dharamshala main town. We're heading towards a place that does food like Momos, and this is what this area is known for. The only thing is that the hills when you're walking up and down are pretty steep, and we've not even walked that far. But to get into the main town, and I know I've probably said it for the millionth time in this video, but scenery is brilliant. Height 2,000 meters. Hello, puppy. Is he going to take us to where we need to go?
No.
There we go.
Going back to the room that we're staying in, we were really specific as to what we wanted. We wanted something a little bit out of the way. We wanted something that had food on site, which this place does, thankfully, and something that was, you know, relatively decently rated on Google. We're still about 8 minutes away from the restaurant that we're going to, and I found this restaurant because of a YouTube video from a girl that visited here about 9 months back, and that was really helpful, so I'll put that video in the description.
I know.
Look again.
Dog sunbathing?
More little mountain dogs. Oh, she's doing a wee.
Chilling, are we, boys?
Oh, look at these boys. We're about 2 minutes away from this restaurant that we're heading into. Should be down this road. I think there's a massive lorry. Oh no, it's not a lorry, it's just a car and a bike. And there's a dog coming out of there as well. Alright, well, we've made our way. It's changed from what it was online to here. As I said, we found this through a YouTube video from a girl that posted about this place. It has changed its name, and we're hoping we can try some local food from here. And the views again. Oof, I can smell that chili.
More chili?
Wow.
Not chili.
So we're trying 2 Tibetan dishes, and one is...
We've got fried chicken momos and also thukpa. I actually had thukpa in Japan and it came with momos in it, so I'm excited to have it again.
Tomorrow we've got a bit more of a busy day. We're hiring a car with a driver, but thanks to that we'll hopefully visit some of the key tourist spots in Dharamshala and the surrounding areas. This one? Well, the food in there was lovely, and the dog inside was a little bit angry, but that dog outside was pretty sweet in the end. We are in front of the Dharamshala Skyway, and we're going to head in. There we go, prohibit items on board. Phoebe got her
Chewing gum stolen.
chewing gum was gone. They said if you're not back by 6, the chewing gum's getting binned, which I suppose is a good thing. So it stops people from littering. A couple of other signs saying remember to be respectful of the area. And now we're just going to get in line to buy the ticket, which is 700 rupees for a round trip.
Yeah. 2 tickets for
2 tickets round trip, please. It is an experience of a lifetime. Let's see if it really is an experience of a lifetime. Thank you. Whee!
My goodness.
Subway there if you want.
My legs have gone like jelly. Oh my goodness.
Mate, you didn't need to open the window because there's open vents here.
Oh, really?
Look behind you. That's beautiful.
Oh my god.
So that was the first leg of the journey complete, and now we're going to be heading into Dharamshala town. But if you look around there,
Wow.
you see the views. Incredible. There we go, and we are out. We go to the exit. Where has this place dropped us off at? I don't even know what this is. Well, we're on the other side, on the Skyway, and I'm a bit confused as to what there is to do from this area here. I mean, it literally feels like they've just plonked you in the middle of nowhere. The ride was lovely, don't get me wrong, but there is nothing to do around here. There's a mall 9 minutes a walk from here, but I'm not sure which path to take. I'm not sure if it's going up or down. Everything seems to be in construction. At least the views on the way down were great, and on the way up they'll be great as well. Instead of going down into the local area there, we're going to be doing that tomorrow. So we just hung out on that ledge, which has got such an amazing and beautiful view of that area. feel like I'm saying beautiful quite a lot in this video. Yeah, we're on our way back now, so we need to grab our return tickets. There we go, past our tickets getting checked, and now we are heading up towards the Skyway again. After exiting the Skyway on the McLeod Ganj side, we walked back through the small town, passing local markets and street stalls that line the path into the heart of the area. Unlike some of the areas we'd visited in India, the atmosphere felt a lot more laid back. The vendors weren't pushy, and it was actually quite relaxing to explore on foot. We ended up stopping at a little bakery cafe that caught our eye, and we couldn't resist grabbing a slice of apple pie and a quick coffee. Apple pie is surprisingly popular here thanks to the cooler climate of Himachal Pradesh. The region is often called India's apple state, and you can definitely taste why. After that, we made our way back through the town of McLeod Ganj towards the hotel. Now, if you're from the UK, you might have heard of a show called Race Across the World. It follows contestants racing across continents with limited money and no flights, stopping at various checkpoints along the way. In season 5, the race took them from China to the southern tip of India, and one of the stops along the route was right here in McLeod Ganj. So of course, we had to soak it all in with one last cup of tea from the local chaiwala before calling it a day. This is one of the best sunsets I've ever seen. I think this is the highlight of our trip, or one of the highlights of our trip. Day 2 started with a bit of a surprise. 2 monkeys were sitting on our balcony, which means that we couldn't really step outside, let alone enjoy breakfast outdoors like I'd originally wanted to. The skies were blue and the view was incredible. You could just about see the snow blowing off the distant mountain peaks, but there wasn't much time to relax. Today, we had a car booked for the full day, so it was time to get ready and head out for a proper look around Dharamshala. You join us today on day 2. Yesterday was a pretty relaxed and normal day, and today we're going to be making a couple of stops around the town. So the first place is the Dalai Lama temple. I'm going to be seeing other sites like the cricket ground, which is one of the highest in the world, and also museums, and learn a bit more about the culture in this area. So we didn't take too many photos inside the Dalai Lama temple. You weren't allowed to do anything that spoils the peace of the area, which is why, well, we only took some photos and some videos around in the surrounding areas, but not here, unfortunately. The next place we're at is the Tibet Museum, and I think it's open. I'm not too sure. It just says come this way, or entry this way, so we're gonna see. I'm really excited to learn about the Tibetan culture, and didn't realise how big a province it was in China. It was only at the Dalai Lama Museum that we saw the size of it on a sort of like infomercial that they had playing inside the temple. The view's meant to be dead good around this corner, that's what Phoebe's saying.
Oh gosh, no pressure.
So let's come around this corner and see. Wow. So what I was saying before about how big Tibet was in China, there's a map here that shows you the sort of a scale of it. Bad news, the museum's closed on a Saturday, and today is a Saturday. The area itself is pretty pleasant, and I'm not disappointed because along the walls here you've got different pieces of information about Tibet. Obviously the museum would have been a bit better, and this is completely our fault. We should have came here yesterday. The outside of the building looks really beautiful. It's a shame, but we'll move on to our next stop. Next stop, the HPCA Stadium. This is the HPCA Stadium in Dharamshala, which is our next stop on our little tour around this area. It's got a capacity of about 23,000 people. In terms of altitude, I know it gets commonly touted as being the highest in the world. However, there is another stadium in India which is twice the elevation of this place here. To sit here in the visitors gallery when there's no sort of matches or cricket games going on, it is 30 rupees for one person, and you can only pay by either card or UPI, so they don't accept cash. Right, we are leaving in just a moment, but look at that stadium, just for one last time. Such an interesting colour scheme. What a beautiful stadium. And now we're going to go get some food. We popped into a place called Kalimpong Restaurant. which got really busy surprisingly, but we were lucky enough to get a table. We ended up having some chicken fried rice, some thukpa again, and some momos, all of which tasted lovely. Not only that, but the customer service, as with most things that we experienced in Dharamshala, was perfect. Everyone was friendly, everyone was happy, and there was no sense of that someone was out to get you. Look how beautiful this is. Tea leaves. Tea leaves that I'm guessing that they pick. There's like little pathways around through here. I think they walk and they collect the leaves. I'm not sure what the production process is, but what's even better is the view behind me here with the Himalayan mountains there. There's also a little tea shop that we're going to have a quick brew in. So we arrived at a height of over 1,750 metres according to that sign there. We are in St John's Church, which is one of the oldest cathedrals in North India. I don't think it's open, but we're going to head down and see some of the area around us. There you go. This is a protected monument, and I think this is the burial place of Lord Elgin, who basically commissioned building this church here. It was built in 1852, and it is dedicated to St John the Baptist. I think there was a really bad earthquake here in 1905, and this survived that, and it's called the Kangra earthquake. Kangra is the area which is just basically due south of Dharamshala, and that's where the airport is. In our last stop in Dharamshala, or McLeod Ganj, it is a place called Naddi Point, and the view is meant to be incredible from here. What a way to end our 3 weeks of pretty much intense travelling around India. I'm incredibly lucky to be able to see places like this, and I'm hoping you guys have enjoyed our little journeys too. If there's any sort of topics or questions about getting here or who we used, drop in the comments below and I'll try my best to help out. But on that note, I'm going to say bye and end the video here, and yeah, thank you for watching Why Not Ash.